This podcast is part of the Everyday Heroes Podcast Network, the network for first responders and those who support them.
It's marathon season.
Yay! It's nice out.
And Scissors and Scrubs is going to cover it in our own special way.
Of course.
I'm Nicole.
I'm Laura.
We're on a time frame today because Mike has to go to work, so
Blah,
we
blah, blah.
we can't probably give it as much as the
We'll give it the old college
we'll
try.
give it the old college try.
Unlike our sons.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Laura, what is one thing you'll never in my lifetime see me do?
Run a marathon?
Bingo.
Yeah.
Bingo. I see no need.
No.
I don't see any driving.
No.
I have to run a marathon at 50.
Never. I've never.
Nothing about it seems enjoyable. And all we cover in this episode
exactly why I
reinforces why I will never run a marathon. I'll sit on the sidelines, drink beer, and eat pizza.
I've gone and supported my friends multiple times.
I have no need.
Run the last couple miles with them.
I tried the running thing. I did a couple of 5Ks.
Yeah.
The moment I start till the moment I finish, all I can say in my head is, I hate this. This is stupid. Why am I doing this? I hate it. I can't ever get those endorphins that people talk about.
I ran.
No.
I was in a running club. I ran in high school.
Nope.
I have never had a run as high in my life. I'm like, what are you talking about?
The entire time, no matter what I'm listening to, I'm like, I'm hot, I'm sweating, I hate this, this sucks, my legs hurt, I'm tired, maybe I'll walk. No, just go 1 more minute. No, so it's just not worth it to me. I'd rather just go for a nice long walk.
I'll run to that corner.
Yep.
I'll run to that corner.
I can go farther.
Okay, now
I
I
can
can
go
run to
farther.
that
Yeah.
corner. Now I can run to that. Yeah,
I'm not going to
awful.
stop. And then I just wind up fucking walking because I hate it. I hate running. Like, with a pack that I would rather, no, I'm not going to say it.
No.
Be crucified than run.
No, you
I
wouldn't.
wouldn't rather be
You'd
crucified.
probably run.
But a marathon is right up there with me as being crucified.
Yeah, it's bad.
Okay. So the first issue we develop during marathons would be the key one most people think of, which is dehydration. We lose water from sweat, peeing, breathing, crying, and pooping, which will come in later.
Which you do all of those in
All
a
of
marathon.
those in a marathon. I definitely cry,
Yeah.
and sweat, and cry, and breathe rapidly.
Yeah.
I haven't shit myself,
No.
and I do stop and use the bathroom, but there's a lot of crying. We replace the water with fluids or food that contain water. When you lose more water than you take in, you become dehydrated. Ways to lose too much water. Run a marathon.
Yeah.
Fever, diarrhea, vomiting, excessive sweating, and peeing a lot. Like when you have diabetes.
Yes.
Marathon, I wrote in red, so I'm struggling trying to read this.
Yeah.
Marathon runners are sweating profusely, and some are peeing and shitting themselves while they run, which is disgusting, causing dehydration to set in. Symptoms include thirst, dry or sticky mouth,
Oh, God.
not peeing very much, dark yellow pee,
Yeah.
dry, cool skin. You never want dry, cool skin
No.
when it's 90 degrees outside. A headache, feeling dizzy, rapid heartbeat, rapid breathing, sunken eyes, sleepiness, lack of energy, confusion, and irritability, even fainting.
Oh.
People at risk. They went through a whole thing about babies and young children, but since they're not running marathons, they didn't cover them.
No.
Elderly, people who are ill, people with chronic disease, and people who are active outside.
Okay.
None of which I have to worry about because I am never active outside. Runner's World is where I got my information. It is suggested that runners have a hydration plan before they start to run.
Good idea.
So, 2 to 3 days before your race, aim to drink 8 to 12 cups of fluid daily. And if you have to, add a sodium, like sport drink, to encourage drinking. On race day, drink 1/10 of your body weight in ounces. 2 to 3 hours before the start of the race. So if you're 15 ounces for somebody who's 150 pounds. During the race, go to the aid stations, make your target 16 to 30 ounces of fluid, either water or sports drinks per hour, starting after the first few miles.
Okay.
After the race, drink 20 to 24 ounces for each pound of body weight lost as sweat, and consider a recovery drink. Because you got to be careful, and we'll talk about later something if you rehydrate too quickly.
Yes.
So you have to rehydrate with sodium. You can't rehydrate too quickly. And if you feel any of the symptoms, dizziness, fainting, any of that, you have to go. You forget about the time. The time's not important.
Right.
If you die, it's not worth it.
Right.
So that is dehydration.
Okay.
Over to you.
I'm going to start with shin splints.
Oh, I've gotten those.
I've had shin splints
Yeah.
multiple times.
Which is any excuse to stop running. Oh, shin splints.
can't run for like 3 months.
Choke, long toenail. Can't do it.
I got this information from MayoClinic.org. So, shin splints are medically known as medial tibial stress syndrome.
Okay.
Okay.
I always thought they were real like bone splints that went into your muscles.
Yeah.
They're not.
It feels like it.
Yeah, it does.
It refers to the pain along the tibia, which is the front of your leg between your ankle and your knee, along that bone. It occurs from repetitive stress on the shin bone and connective tissue. So running.
Constant pounding.
Yeah. Very common. Over 3 million cases a year of shin splints. It's usually in athletes, especially runners, ballerinas, and military recruits.
Yes, because they're in boot camp doing all this running they never did before. Ballerinas.
Maybe because on their toes or something.
Leaps and shit.
Yeah. It usually occurs after intensifying training routines. So if you run 3 miles a day every day, you're probably not going to get shin splints. But then if you're suddenly running hills 4 times a week, you're going to get shin splints.
Moved it to 6 miles overnight.
Symptoms of shin splints are tenderness or soreness along the shin bone and mild swelling. At first, it will stop when you stop the activity. So when you first get them, you're running, you're like, oh, I got pain in my shins. You stop just walking the rest of the way, it goes away. But if they don't heal, like if the next day you go for a run again, they will hurt continuously. Like your shin just hurts all the time. And it can lead to a stress fracture.
Oh. Well, that's not good.
So you should, if you get shin splints, you have pain in the front of your shin, use ice, rest it. Don't go for a run the next day. Like take a week off. Like I said,
any excuse. Oh, I must have had shin splints 15 years ago because I've stopped running, and they feel great now.
I feel fine. Use over-the-counter pain relievers like ibuprofen. If those don't work, go see a doctor because you could have a stress fracture. Risk factors for shin splints are if you're a runner, especially just starting out. If you have a sudden increase in duration, frequency, or intensity of the exercise. If you're running on uneven terrain like hills or hard surfaces like concrete. Military training. And if you have flat feet or high arches. So if either or, you can get shin splints. Prevention for shin splints are get your movements analyzed. When I ran, I would go to the shoe store.
Yeah.
And that was like a marathon shoe store, and they would watch how you walked, watch how you ran, watch how you did in the shoe. So they have a little machine that
videos your feet when you run.
So they'd get you in the right shoes, and they could also say, hey, when you run, try to do this. And they could tell you how to change. Just a slight movement can change
the whole thing.
And it can help prevent shin splints. Avoid overdoing it. Too much running for too long at too high an intensity can overload the shins. Take it easy. Relax.
Walk if you have to.
Yeah.
Go to the first aid station, get some Twinkies, walk a little bit, and then finish your run.
Choose the right shoes and replace them every 350 to 500 miles. People don't do that.
I knew somebody who used to write the mileage on her sneakers.
Yes.
I thought that was kind of weird.
It is, but
that's an intense.
It's hard to keep track until it's too late when you're like, my fucking shins.
Yeah,
I haven't replaced my shoes in like 3 months. And 350 to 500 miles is not as long of a time as you think. 20 miles
a day.
Yeah. Consider arch supports. Consider shock absorbing insoles. Lessen the impact by cross training with a lower impact sport like swimming. So don't run you don't have to run every day. You can go for a swim on Monday and Wednesday and then run the other days. Add strength training to your workout to help stabilize your legs.
Oh, God bless.
And that's shin splints.
Well, shin splints are going to lead us to cramps.
Yay.
And we're just going to talk muscle cramps because we're going to talk other cramps later.
Okay.
Many runners, it's that red ink. Many runners suffer leg cramps. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. Yes. This is also for running corners. There are 2 types of cramp, muscle overloading and fatigue cramps from overuse. It's usually a painful cramp in the calf muscle due to overwork. You can also have muscle cramps from electrolyte imbalance that develop due to sweating and low sodium, all back to dehydration. It's important to know the kind of cramp you are experiencing so you can deal with it and try to prevent it in the future. Muscle overloading and fatigue cramps occur from repeated or extended loading of a particular muscle group and muscles that are in a shortened position. So when you're running, your calf muscle is never fully stretched, and that's why most of the time runners get a massive cramp in their calf. Symptoms are sudden onset and constant cramping, localized and asymmetry. So if you look at somebody having muscle cramp, the muscle looks fucked up. It responds to passive stretching. Causes are older age, poor stretching, page flip, poor or insufficient conditioning, excessive exercise, intense and in duration, or a history of cramping. Hamstring cramps occur when your upper body rounds forward and your hips start to sink back. So you're hunching forward, you're going to cramp your hamstrings.
That's how I run at the end.
Yeah.
I can't stand up straight.
So I ran a 5K. It was fucking a million degrees. And there was a photographer at the end snapping pictures.
God.
And then you go, I was really skinny, which looked great, but my face, you can tell. I'm like, this sucks.
I'm purple.
I'm miserable.
I come back from when I used to run. I would come back. I would literally be purple. Like, I don't know how people didn't stop me on the way and be like, "Are you dying? Are you all right?"
It's just misery. It's just sheer. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. My husband loves it. I hate it.
Well, I remember when I ran the marathon and you were waiting with, I think, Jack at the time, and like you were waiting to see me. I don't know, around the 20-mile mark. And when you saw me, I was walking eating
pizza. Eating pizza.
I remember saying that. He had pizza.
Me and Charlotte, my friend Charlotte, went to watch Mike run this marathon. And I had both of them. Sam was just little. Charlotte was with me. We're standing there waiting. I'm like, this motherfucking asshole walking down the marathon route on the street with the fucking number on, eating a slice of pizza. I'm like, you fucking.
Leg cramps.
Well,
he suffered leg cramps.
Mike, I get it.
Pizza.
Did you have a beer with it?
No.
Liar.
He needed pizza for his leg cramps. I'm like,
well,
what are you doing?
It's full of salt and carbohydrates.
I'm serious. I got to the 12-mile mark and I saw the time and I was like, holy shit, I'm doing 7.5-minute miles.
Sure.
And then, boom.
Leg cramps.
Like, hamstrings just locked up. I couldn't even walk for a minute.
You were slouching. And your hips were back.
I was like, and then as that happened, I walked past a pizza place and I smelled it. And I was like, I need that pizza. And then I saw some pizza at a first aid station.
Which was for the people working there, not runners.
What did the guy say when you walked in with your number and you're like, I'll have a slice and a beer? Like, you know.
No, you got out of the medical tent. They were like, this is really for the volunteers.
Who needs a medical tent? You can just go to, Joe's Pizzeria.
And I'm so sweet. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Are you fucking serious?
Asshole!
And
what's with the
next
pizza?
to me, like, looking at me.
I was on track to qualify for Boston.
Yeah, good job. And then you had pizza.
I couldn't even move.
Yeah, and then he
thought that was the best
leaves. He
story
says
ever.
bye and whatever, and he starts walking away. I'm like, it's a marathon. You're supposed to run. And the guy next to me was like, turn and stand. I'm like, it's my husband.
Pick it up. Pick it up.
You're supposed to be running. Like, I'm like, oh my god. Yeah,
now, Mike, can I ask you this? Have you ever run a marathon since?
No.
Right, because there's no need. There's no need.
I did get that runner's high though, training.
I never.
Was it a mile 10 when you thought you were doing 7-minute miles and then your hamstring?
Yeah.
I was there, and then my hamstrings locked up, and I never had it again. Fucking running. Anyway, so his hamstrings cramped up because his upper body was moved forward and his hips were back.
Yeah.
Your quads cramp up when your foot strike slows down and you start to shuffle. That's me. Maybe that's what happened to you. You were shuffling.
I think it was a hydration.
Yeah, you think? Okay. Probably. Well, the pizza cured that.
Yeah.
Your calves cramp up when your hips no longer push forward and your hamstring stops working. Feet land in all kinds of weird positions and your calf scrapes it. Prevention. It all goes back to drinking your water. Drink 16 to 20 ounces 45 minutes before training. Drink 2 to 4 ounces every 15 minutes during training.
No.
Eat a healthy diet of pizza or fruit and veg.
Either way.
See?
Or fruit and veg. So, treatment. Side stretch or stomach cramps. Slow down. Oh, so if you have a side stitch, when you're running,
Yeah, I hate that. I hate
your stomach's
Those are worse than the legs. Yeah.
you slow down and you deep breathe for 2 to 4
I do
minutes.
this.
The side stitch has to do with when you tend to breathe shallow when you're doing that, and you're not taking deep breaths, so you get a side stitch. So slow down and take deep breaths for 2 to 4 minutes. Get a burp going. That helps with the stomach cramps. Or fart relieves pressure. We're going to get into why you get GI distress when you're running. That's my favorite part. Okay, so the muscle cramps, stop running, rest and hydrate, massage the cramp immediately, and after pain subsides, stretch it gently. And that's all I have for that.
Okay.
I went right on to the other one. I'm like, oh, look I'm right into the other topic. Yeah. So make sure you stretch, make sure you hydrate, get your pizza in,
Obviously.
And listen to your body. Because it's telling you, I can't do this anymore.
You're doing something that's causing it.
Yeah, your body doesn't like what you're doing.
So I'm going to do ballistas.
Oh.
I got this from runnersblueprint.com, which I love that website because the people on it write really funny. Like the way they write it is funny. So blisters are fluid-filled bumps caused by continuous friction, forcing the outer layers of your skin to rub together and break apart. A tear happens in the epidermis, which is the upper portion of your skin. Then the outer layer separates, which creates a space in between the tissue. And when you have a space in your body, it fills with fluid. And sometimes a blood vessel can pop in there, and that
And you
then
get a
forms
blood
a
blister.
blood blister.
They're gross. Blisters are disgusting.
Yeah. Runners usually get them on their arches, soles of the feet, and toes because those are the areas that are constantly rubbing
Well,
against
they
your
lose
shoes.
toenails too, which is even
Oh, yeah.
grosser. That's
Yeah.
disgusting.
Anything that makes friction worse exacerbates blisters, like too loose or too tight shoes, bad running form, hammer toes, bunions, and heel spurs. So if you have any of those, it's just going to make it you're more likely to get a blister. If you get a blister that does not ache, let nature take its course. It will eventually reabsorb into your body. Leave it alone.
Mm-hmm. Any blister, don't pop it.
Well,
don't peel it.
They do say, if it is huge throbbing blister, you're going to pop it. Because that's not going to
It's
reabsorb.
not like a burn blister. It's
Right. It's a different... because that fluid's going to sit there and there's so much tension on it, it's not going to reabsorb quickly, and you can get infected.
Yeah.
That fluid can get infected. So to do this safely, so you do not get infection, A, you could go see your doctor and they could help you out. B, if you feel the need to do this at home, which we are not condoning on Scissors and Scrubs,
Don't
wash
get a
your
safety
hands.
pin and don't burn it over a fire and use them.
Wash your hands. Wash your hands before you do anything.
Yeah.
Soap and water. Get a good scrub. We all
Sing
had
happy birthday while
it's
you're washing
COVID.
your hands.
We all know how to wash our hands now. Sterilize a needle. You can either pour alcohol over it, soak it in alcohol, or boil it for 10 minutes. It has to be, you can't like throw it in a cup of hot water. That does not, has to boil for 10 minutes. Clean the blister first.
With alcohol.
Get a good alcohol rub on that blister. Then you're going to pierce the blister near the edges in a few spots. Like, don't throw it in the middle. Put a few little holes around the edges. And then use a piece of sterile gauze and push on the blister to drain the fluid out.
I could throw up at the thought of doing this.
Do not remove the outer layer of your skin.
So just
Leave
get the fluid out.
skin on. You're just doing this to get that fluid out so it stops the throbbing and the aching. Because that outer layer of skin is going to help prevent infection from occurring. Apply an antiseptic cream and a Band-Aid when you're done draining the fluid. Do not peel the skin off. Eventually, that skin's going to slough off because it's broken apart from your skin. It's going to slough off.
But it's a nice protective barrier.
Leave it on until it does, because once it's peeling off, that means the other layer has already grown, so you won't get an infection. If you get a blister mid-race, stop at a medical tent to have it addressed ASAP, because it's just going to get worse.
They can put moleskin on it or something so you can continue.
How are we going to prevent them? Proper socks. Don't wear cotton socks while you're running. Wear wicking material. Proper running shoes. Get fitted. If you're going to be a runner, if you're going to run marathons, if you're running any considerable amount of time, like, I mean, sure, if you go for a run once a month, fine, you don't get shoes. But if you're going to be a runner, go to a store, have them watch you run, have them fit you. They do it correctly. Wear 2 pairs of socks if you're prone to blisters, which I would think
would make it worse.
But the rubbing occurs between the socks instead of between your foot and the sock.
Okay.
So that the socks take the friction instead of your skin. So if you're prone to them, put on 2 pairs of socks, not cotton. Bring an extra pair of socks if it's raining, if it's wet, if there's puddles on the ground. Always have an extra pair, because wet is just going to make everything worse. And lubricate, please.
Like anything you're going to do that might take a lot of pounding. Lubricate first.
Always lubricate. And that's it. So
I had a friend
please
who ran...
don't take our... I mean, if you have to pop a blister, talk to a doctor.
She ran a half marathon. Mm-hmm. She had her iPod in between her bra like thing. Yeah. She got a huge blister from the iPod rubbing. All right, so I'm going to move on to exercise-associated hyponatremia. Mm-hmm. We are going to continue to refer to this as EAH. Okay. That EAH is a fluid electrolyte disorder caused by a decrease in sodium levels, hyponatremia. So when you are hyponatremic, your sodium level is very low. Mm-hmm. During or up to 24 hours after prolonged physical activity. This disorder can develop when marathon runners or endurance event athletes drink more fluid, usually sports drinks, than their kidneys can excrete. Yeah. The excess water severely dilutes the level of sodium in the blood needed for organs, especially the brain, to function properly. Okay. There's a reason I picked this subject. Mm-hmm. We will get into it. Okay. Early symptoms of EAH are impaired exercise performance, nausea, bloating, vomiting, swelling of the hands, headache, swelling of the hands, legs, and feet, headache, And as water retention increases, you're going to have rapid weight gain.
Mm.
Severe symptoms, pulmonary edema, hyponatremic encephalopathy, which means your brain is starting to swell because there's not enough sodium, altered level of consciousness, sullenness, sleepiness, you start pulling away from people, photophobia, and seizures.
Oh.
The prevention of EAH is consuming a substantial amount of salt prior to exercise. So there's a reason that they have the spaghetti dinner before the marathon. You want to you have to watch what you eat for GI issues, but you want to take in a lot of salt before, and you have to be careful how you rehydrate. So again, prevention, consuming a substantial amount of salt prior to exercise. Treatment, fluid restriction, saline and hypertonic saline. So saline is your normal balance. Hypertonic is extra salt, isn't it? Yep. 100% milligrams of 3% saline hourly. Those with encephalopathy, the brain swelling, may receive a high flow O2 and a rapid infusion of 3% in saline. So that's like ocean water salt. So in April 16th, and I remember hearing about this through coworkers. In April 16th of 2002, a 28-year-old Cynthia Lucero, she ran the Boston Marathon. At the race, friends said she drank large amounts of Gatorade and looked well most of the race. She later began to falter, and she collapsed after telling a friend she felt like she was rubber-legged. She was rushed to the hospital, and she later died from EAH. She started herniating her brain. So what happens is when your brain swells, it has no place to go because you have your cranium all around it. Well, at the base of your cranium is the hole that your spinal cord connects to the brain. And when it herniates, it goes through that hole. And the problem with that is at the base of your brain is all your life, vital brain function. That's where your breathing control, that's where your sleep's control. Everything's controlled in your medulla oblongata, to get technical. And so when that is getting squeezed through the hole at the base of your brain, you die. And that is what happened to her. So she was rushed to the hospital. She died. She was the second runner at that time to die in the 106-year history of the Boston Marathon. So since then, we've had the bombing and blah, blah, blah. Though the people that died were not runners, but she was the second one to die from actually running. So you have to be very careful. I don't think people even consider this. They just know they're drinking. You have to be careful. Your body is balanced with, when you get really into the chemical bullshit of nursing school, you learn about the sodium pumps and this and that, and your body balances all of your salt and your sugars to live. And if you fuck with either one of those, it's going to kill you. Yeah. And it kills you quick. Yeah. Okay. So over to you.
Oh, all right. I got a tough toss up of my last two. I don't know which one to do first or last, but I'm going to go with chub rub.
Oh, chub rub.
Yep.
The thigh chafe.
Yeah. I got this from flow.health. Chafed skin on your inner thighs, usually experienced during warmer, more humid months, is chub rub. It occurs from constant friction. Friction is not your friend.
No.
When your thighs rub together, they get irritated, reddened, sting, burn, swell, crust, and even bleed.
Crust.
You want crusty thighs? I don't want crusty thighs.
I don't want crusted in the thighs.
What to do if you get chub rub? Stop the activity causing it as soon as possible. Yeah. Change your clothes if they are causing the irritation. So if you're wearing loose shorts or something and you're running, put on lycra shorts because there's nothing rubbing in between them. Clean the affected area gently with soap and water, especially if you've been sweating, because the salt is just going to make it worse. The salt from your sweat. Sting. Yeah. Clean it gently. Don't rub it because it's already been rubbed. Nice pats of warm water and soap.
A little pat of butter.
Yeah. Dry by patting the area with a clean towel. Do not rub the area. Leave the area exposed and uncovered to get some fresh air up in there and speed up the healing.
Get that shit up.
So at night, wear a t-shirt, nothing else downstairs, let it get some air. Apply petroleum jelly, diaper rash cream, body balm, or ointment made for skin chafing. I swear to God, petroleum jelly is for everything.
Yep.
For everything.
So is Desitin.
Yeah.
That cures everything too.
All those things will help reduce the friction because they're now making everything slick, so you get less friction. Then cover with a sterile bandage, if it's open and raw and whatever. If it's swollen, crusty, or bleeding, a doctor may have to provide a medicated cream to put on.
That's so fucking gross.
It will resolve in a few days if you put a stop to whatever is causing it.
So stop running.
Stop running. If you have chub rub,
or wear long pants.
Don't keep running. Oh. But even then, if your thighs are hitting each other, even if you have pants on, they're still going to hit. So let it heal completely.
Oh, Jesus.
While healing, don't clean the area with iodine or hydrogen peroxide. It's going to sting the shit out of it.
Yes.
Clean it, but not with that. Don't use harsh soaps or hot water. Use warm, soapy, gentle water. Always pat dry. Use a cold pack for a short time, then pat it dry after. Don't leave it wet. You don't want this area wet. Rest and let it heal. And watch for signs and symptoms of infection because it can be infected because now you've rubbed it raw. Next time, try preventable measures first. There's anti-chafe sticks. They're literally called like chub rub sticks. Or if you don't have the stick, put on some petroleum jelly. Everybody has Vaseline. Put on petroleum jelly or the stick to the inner thighs for lubrication before activity. Lubricate. Lubrication
chub
is
rub
your
happen anywhere else?
It can happen like under your arms, like if
Like
you
if
have
you
a
have
little
big boobs?
meat under. Yeah, if you have big boobs, you get a little extra meat under your
Mhm.
armpits. If you're running, you're rubbing your arms, so
Oh,
that's gonna get it there.
God.
Anything
Why
that's
would you
going
want to
to
run a marathon?
I know, but this is just you don't even have to run a marathon for
you're
this
true.
shit. Just anything that's going to, if your skin is rubbing on skin, lubricate it.
Yeah.
Stay dry. Use wicking clothing. Apply powder before heading outdoors. Like if it's swampy out, put on some powder.
You don't want swamp ass.
No. Remove wet clothes or bathing. If you're at the beach or whatever, the kids always get the stupid rob the boys. Oh
Yes.
my god. Remove anything wet right away because it's not going to
Makes
help
it
anything. Wear appropriate clothes that fit correctly. Cotton retains moisture. You
Mhm.
never want to be doing an athletic
And cotton.
anything in cotton. Wear sports specific clothes like running tights and clothes with smooth seams. Don't wear pants or shorts with the seams in them in your crotch because the seams
I
are
got rubbed
wicked
and that's gonna hurt
abrasive.
like a mofo.
Yeah. Stay hydrated. It will help sweat from drying and turning into crystals of salt that can enhance the chafed skins. You don't want crystals of salt in your
You
thighs
could take those
that are
crystals
then
of
rubbing
salt
against the crystals.
and give them to the poor asshole
Yeah.
next to you who's got
Wait a minute.
EAH.
Here, let me
Get
just
some salt.
grab down here.
Feed him my chub rub
Yeah.
salt.
Have some chub rub salt. So just lubricate and dress
We should
appropriately.
market chub rub salt.
I know. It's a cure for
Cure all.
hyponatremia.
God damn.
Yeah.
All right, that's chub rub.
that's chub rub.
Again, like, why are we doing this?
I don't know.
Because, all right, so you can get some chub rub.
Mhm.
You're cramped up. You're herniating your brain. On top of all that, now you're going to get the shits.
Oh, we don't want the shit.
The shits.
Mhm.
We'll get into the reason I cover the shits when I discuss her later.
Mhm.
So why do runners get the shits?
Yeah.
Well, running causes a span of GI issues, from heartburn to acid reflux to the shits. Most common is the lower GI issues. It can range from mild bloating and gas to bloody stool.
Nice.
And we're not saying like later. This is while you're running. One reason for this is the lack of blood flow to the intestines while you're running, because while you're running, your body is worried about its skin and it's worried about the large muscle groups, so it's shunting away from your intestines. And it can also cause slight tissue damage to the intestines, and this causes the effects of these effects could be caused the morning of and the day of the race. So it is also said that the constant jostling of the intestines from bouncing can add to the urgent need to use the bathroom.
I bet.
Yep. So how to help runners trot, as they like to call it.
I got the trots.
I got the trots. Got the trotskis. You control your diet and how much water you drink. Stay away from hard to digest foods. Like, you may really not want to eat that pizza when you're running because your body might not have the capacity at that moment. Hopefully Mike didn't get the shits, because that would have been a divorce issue for me. Okay, running can also cause... Oh, no. So you watch what you're eating, control your food, talk about hydrating. There's really not much else you can do. So we have a couple of cases of people who got the shits.
I can name one.
Oh, you know. So years ago, let's say back in 1996.
It was 1996?
Yeah,
God.
This woman was running the Boston Marathon.
I will never forget
Uda
this as long as I
Pipic.
live. Poor Uda Pippin.
Uda Pipic. And one of the women I work with, because I am watching Uda Pipic at the finish line, covered in blood and feces, horrified. And she's like, she is so heroic. Heroic.
I would have laid down the course and pretended I died for her.
Heroic is saving the Jews from the Nazis. running full of shit and blood is not heroic. There's nothing heroic about that. It was disgusting. So we had quite an argument over that. Okay. So the great German runner won her 3rd consecutive Boston Marathon, overhauling Kenyan Tegla Larube in the final strides and overcoming the extreme discomfort of menstrual cramps and diarrhea to finish at 2 hours, 27 minutes, and 13 seconds. Quote, I had some problems with my period, reports Pippick.
We know.
I didn't expect it would become this worse. Diarrhea. I felt not nice, so I used a lot of water around me so that I looked better, and also for my legs that I could clean up a bit. Well, it didn't work, Uda, because you looked disgusting at the end of the marathon. It was disgusting. So she is one of the best-loved Boston champions. Not by me. I found you repulsive. Pippick took the indignities and pain in stride, literally, preserved and maintained her upbeat attitude. After 4 miles, I was thinking several times to drop out because it hurt so much, but in the end, I won. And rather than shrinking with embarrassment, Pippick credited the support from the crowd for her victory. It was like the whole city was on its legs, and I wanted to thank every person on the course that day. Uda, you ran in Boston. Everybody was making fun of you. If you know Boston, everybody was like, that kid's gross. Like, look at her. Like, we were having a good time at your expense. Congratulations, because you walked away with a lot of money that I did not have.
I mean, I don't know. Would I shit myself for that amount of money?
No.
Probably
Nope,
not.
I would not.
No.
And nor would I shit myself and let my period blood run to my knees.
Yeah.
Okay? No. And now be on national television while I look like that.
No.
So, not only did Uda Pippick have this problem, but so did the woman she beat, Tegla Larube.
They both did it?
In 1998, she ran the New York City Marathon. Ironically, Pippick's Boston rival from 2 years prior was forced to endure her own battle with diarrhea as she raced through the 5 boroughs of New York. Having won in New York in 94 and 95, Larube was hoping to ascend the podium once more in 98, but instead struggled valiantly to place 3rd, finishing at 2 hours, 30 minutes, and 28 seconds. Far off her recent world record time of 2 hours, 20 minutes, and 47 seconds.
Wow.
Jesus, how you can do anything in that time. At least I finished, said Larube, who had considered dropping out at various times during the race. For that, I am happy. Nope. Then you have Rosie Ruiz, 1979 New York City Marathon. Her story is well known. It's perhaps the most famous cheating in sports history.
Oh, yeah.
She was the first female runner across the line at the 1980 Boston Marathon. However, it was soon discovered that she had, to put it politely, quote, not run the entire distance. Furthermore, additionally, investigation revealed that she had ridden the subway for a substantial portion of the 1979 New York City Marathon, which had served as her Boston qualifier. Less well known is how the irritable bowel led her astray, and that she had not entered the New York Marathon with the intention of taking a shortcut via mass transit at all. As I approached the start that morning, I had to go, called Ruiz. The lines at the porta potties were 3 blocks long, and not only that, but the stench was unbearable. I realized my only hope of finding a clean, vacant, and fresh-smelling toilet was in the New York City subway station.
Wow!
While luxuriating in the swank, this is literally what they wrote, luxuriating in the swank subway restroom, which I'm pretty sure
Disgusting.
the New York subway system in 1979 was fucking vile, okay? Ruiz missed the start and in a panic hopped a train within blocks of the finish where she rejoined the field, and the rest is history.
Oh my God.
That's how you, well, fuck, they already started. I'm going to get on the train?
Right.
You think they're not going to find out?
Right.
You missed it. Okay. Richard Neuwerker. Richard.
enough.
We're going to call him Dick. 1996 Olympic marathons. The British runner was holding on to 3rd place at the men's marathon at the Atlantic Olympics when nature called and a potty break cost him 2 spots.
Oh.
Richard's pit stop was remarkably brief, and he went on to a highly respectable 5th place finish. You have this woman, I'm not even going to pretend to pronounce her name. Nope, not going there.
Yeah.
She's Russian. 1997 LA Marathon. She was the first woman to cross the line, but the Russian runner's desperate pit stop at the 7-Eleven restroom resulted in a 30-meter shorting of the course, leading her to a subsequent disqualification.
That's terrible.
She had been on the lookout from the bathroom for the 3rd mile and finally found relief at mile 23. Yep, but despite the lost time, the small, apparently inadvertent shortcut cost her the win. I know. Steve Jones, 1995 London Marathon. Some anecdotal reports suggest the great British runner was suffering from some internal and external distress during his course record-setting effort through the streets of London, resulting in the runner's-up refusal to shake hands at the finish line. So he was wiping his ass
with his hands?
with his diarrhea while he was running.
Oh.
At least he didn't shake anybody's hand.
No, at least he was a good...
God damn!
Oh.
Not worth it! Ugh.
No.
Okay. And last but not least, we have Brendan Foster of the 1976 Olympics 10,000 meters.
Uh-huh.
Not all poop crises occur during marathons,
No.
though a vast majority do. At the Montreal Olympics, Foster overcame a third win to capture bronze on the track of the 10K. Apparently, he was afraid his kick might do more than increase his pace. But he held it together well enough to bring home Great Britain's only medal of the 1976 Games.
Wow.
Well, that's pretty sad, Great Britain. Finally, I'm sorry, I do have one more. Finally, the great Norwegian champion, Greta Waitz, suffered famously from diarrhea at both the London and New York City marathons, but overcame it to win both races. In her book, Run Your First Marathon, she describes the problem. So perhaps the moral of these stories is to find yourself near the lead. Keep going, even if you've got the trots.
Oh, God.
God bless.
I mean, I think, I don't know, brave is the word, but I think I could never do that. Like,
I wouldn't do it.
I would die of embarrassment. But so these people are like, no, I'm here to do this. Like, so I guess they are.
It's a lot of
brave in that.
intestinal fortitude.
Yes.
I don't know if it's brave, because I think brave is facing lions.
I know.
I think brave is saving people's lives.
I know. They're just putting
brave
themselves...
is the military soldier who saves 30 by jumping on a hand grenade.
That is.
Okay. Running in shit and diarrhea is not
can't
necessarily brave.
I can't do it.
No, I
just
wouldn't do
couldn't
it. And clearly your body is not happy with you.
And
so now you might take that money and have to go and pay medical bills with it.
Yeah, this is just...
Nothing good about it.
No.
And some of them see it as like a badge of honor.
No,
so
I'm going
to let you finish with yours, but I'm also going to talk about real quick. They lose their periods. A lot of the women lose their periods.
Mm-hmm.
And they use this as like a badge of honor. Like, I am running so much and I am so malnourished, my body stopped providing for life.
Although I wouldn't mind that so much, especially because your period then induces the diarrhea.
True.
I know people don't know,
True.
But you know, when you have your period, it kicks
gives
up.
you those funny poops.
Yeah, you get funny poops. Yeah. As my friends say, connie time.
I couldn't remember the word because I was going to say
period poops.
Yeah.
You don't want period poops. That's the worst
on
poops.
top of your period. Yeah. Exactly. So some women, they, like I said, they see it as a badge of honor because you're running so much. Mm-hmm. But the problems with runners not having their periods, also known as amenorrhea, is fertility.
Yes.
As much as we hate having our period, it keeps our heart healthy. It keeps our bones healthy. So when you do not have it, you become, you have cardiovascular health issues. You become osteoporotic because the estrogen you need to help, that helps your period, you need for strong bones. So, according to Dr. Liz Joy, amenorrhea is it's the canary of the coal mines. So, if you don't know what that means, coal miners back in the day would have canaries in the coal mines. When the gases got too high in the coal mines, the canary died. So, this is their way of saying is your body's telling you you have a big problem. It's too much. The canary's going to die. It's a sign you are not meeting energy needs in your dietary intake. The hypothalamus regulates menstruation, and when the body doesn't have enough energy, the hypothalamus squelches your period. Because basically, your whole purpose is to supply life because you're going to have a baby.
Right.
If your body cannot, whether it's starvation, it's anorexia, there's a million reasons why women will lose their periods, but it's usually all of them is your body's not healthy enough to maintain a baby's life.
Right.
So running can also be that same thing. You are running too much.
Yeah.
So she suggests that runners who are suffering from this sit down with a sports nutritionist and do the math to make sure that you are meeting your energy needs. It should not be a badge of honor. It means you're really unhealthy.
Right.
You're running too much.
Right. When you lose your period, it's
a problem.
Yeah.
Your body is in starvation mode for whatever reason, and your body knows it. So it's stopping you from doing normal things.
Right.
All right.
All right.
Take us to the finish line,
Okay.
Laura. Take us to the finish line.
I'm going to end with bleeding nipples.
That hurts.
Just a tear.
Everywhere. Everywhere.
Yeah. I got this information from runnersblueprint.com. Bleeding nipples are also known as jogger's nipples.
Oh.
So when you run, your blood flow increases.
Especially to your skin.
Yeah. Most people's nipples harden from that.
Oh.
So when your blood flow increases, your nipples harden. So your hard nipples are then rubbing against your shirt that is covered in sweat. So this is a recipe
salt crystals
for disaster. It starts as like a stinging or a burning feeling because your nipples are being rubbed raw. If they continue to be rubbed raw, they will end up bleeding and feel like they are being cut with each stride you take.
And you see this. You see their shirts bloody.
Oh, bloody.
It hurts.
It hurts. Take your shirt off.
It is. Have you seen Mike? He's not gonna take his shirt.
If my
He doesn't take his
nipples
shirt off for the beach.
were bleeding,
I know.
I would take my shirt off.
All you do is put, like, when if you're going to
Band-Aids?
a marathon, put a Band-Aid over it.
Okay, yeah, but you can't get to that point. It is more common in extreme heat, cold, or wet conditions. Wet, bad. Wet is bad, always bad. It's more common in men because women usually have the support of a sports bra holding them in place so they're not
bouncing
up and down. If you get bleeding nipples, rinse them with warm water and let them air dry. Apply.
You can see me with bottles, naked running in the mirror. I'm air drying, covered in petroleum jelly for the chub rub on my thighs. Yeah. I got bleeding nipples. This is a good touch. Covered in shit and fucking period blood.
Apply petroleum jelly or Neosporin to prevent further irritation. Cover them with sterile gauze to prevent infection while healing. Do not run until they are healed. Do not run till your bleeding, cracked open nipples have healed, please. If they are swollen, crusted, or continue to bleed, go see your doctor.
That is so fucking gross. I can't even.
Try to prevent this. Use petroleum jelly or another lubricant as a protective barrier between nipples and shirt. Lube also softens your nipples and keeps them from drying, which lowers your risk of irritation. So if you just lube them every day, they're going to be at a lower risk. Yep.
What are you doing? I am lubing my nipples.
Apply generously. And bring some with you for long runs.
You're just gonna have 2 fucking jars of petroleum jelly.
Just take the Vaseline just right in your shoe. Runners wear those little fanny packs, so make sure you get a little tube of
that's what's
petroleum
in there.
jelly.
Okay, so
you
can
tampons, rub your nipples,
petroleum jelly for your nipples and your chub rub.
Yep.
Maybe some toilet paper so you don't have to use your hands to wipe your ass.
Those little things of water that they put on the little belt. Apply generously and bring some with you for long runs. I already said that. Get a running shirt. Do not wear a cotton t-shirt. You need like wicking material that is specifically made for running. That cotton is thick and it's abrasive.
Heavy when it's wet.
Yeah.
It's.
If you can, run shirtless.
I would.
I would run shirtless all day long. Yeah. And you can also try nip guards, which are a thing, or Band-Aids.
What is a nip guard? What does it look like?
It's a sticky. It's like a
Band-Aid for your nipples.
Band-Aid for your nipples, but I think they're a little harder to get off than a Band-Aid is.
Nip guards.
I think there might be a little suction or something.
Like a breast pump.
Yeah. So just put something on. Don't let your nipples be rubbing against your shirt while you're running, especially for long runs.
Yeah. Men, you don't want to expose
lube
nipples.
it up. Put something on. Lube everything before you run. Just lube it up.
Your head to toe covered in fucking Vaseline.
People are just gonna think you're sweating. It's fine. It's fine.
It's like dripping off you in globs.
Yeah.
All right. So basically,
don't run.
Don't run. If you feel the need that like this driving, I won't feel alive until I run.
Mm-hmm.
Do all these precautions because they're just your body really isn't meant to run for 26 miles.
No.
We're not cheetahs.
No,
we can walk. We can walk for miles, but we take breaks. We were nomads at one time, but we were never on any level meant to run for extreme long periods of time.
No, you have to do a lot of prep work. It's a lot. Don't just do it.
No,
do it right.
Oh God,
if you're gonna do it.
But enjoy.
Yeah,
happy Marathon
time.
Monday coming up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we come out on Marathon Monday. I'd have to look at it, but we're close.
Yeah.
So, sit back, eat your pizza, and watch it on TV. Yeah. And hopefully there'll be no bombings this year.
Please.
Because that would be bad.
Yeah.
We are eventually going to cover the Boston bombing. We know. People ask us. We're getting there. We're still working on it.
That's a lot of work.
It's been 2 years, but it's a work in progress. Yeah. And we'll see you soon. Bye.
Like, subscribe, rate, and review the Scissors and Scrubs podcast on whatever podcast app you listen to us on. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Scissors and Scrubs. And email us any of your stories or thoughts to scissorsnscrubs@gmail.com.